Well, blessing everybody. I wanted to take a moment and inspire your faith. I appreciate Pastor Ross did an incredible job preaching about faith and trusting God. And I want to inspire you as well to make sure that you don't allow the circumstance and what we're up against and what we're going through to diminish your faith. In fact, God spoke to me and God said, I want you to see the opportunities in the midst of the obstacles. God will always put opportunity in the midst of obstacles. If you study church history from the first century, they were thrown into dens and eaten by lions. They were filleted like fish. They were persecuted, but the persecution, the external pressure did not push out unbelief. In fact, it cultivated a new, greater faith. In fact, it didn't stop the church, but it actually turned the volume up in the church. Our momentum, our ability to believe God, God's supernatural capacity and ability was manifested on a greater level as a result of persecution. This coronavirus is not going to kill the church. It's not going to stop the church. In fact, it's going to cause the church to arise in our faith. It's going to stimulate a greater intimacy. There is opportunity in every obstacle. From all the way from Moses to Abraham, even Jeremiah, you see obstacles. It did not cripple their faith. It cultivated a greater faith. They had opportunity in the midst of obstacles. One scripture in 1 Samuel 17:4, you guys know the scripture here, but let me read it just a minute. A giant nearly 10 feet tall stepped out from the Philistines in the open, Goliath from Gath. He had a bronze helmet on his head and he was dressed in armor, 126 pounds of it. He wore bronze shield guards and carried a bronze sword. His spear was like a fence rail. The spear tip alone weighed over 15 pounds. Very intimidating, right? It almost parallels to this coronavirus because its presentation to us is that it is invisible to the naked eye. It is contagious and contractible. It moves from human to human. It is a challenge for not just the nation, but the world. But God said to me, Sean, tell them to see the opportunity in the midst of the obstacle. Just as David looked at Goliath, Saul and the army, they looked at Goliath as just an obstacle, someone that was going to threaten to take their economics. A system. Goliath was not just a man, but it was a system, economically, politically, educationally. He was going to, or the Philistines were going to put Israel into slavery. So that their very presentation to Israel was intimidating, and the king, Saul, was crippled by faith, as well as all the nation of Israel. But this little kid saw opportunity in the midst of obstacle. Why? Well, in 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter, we read that Samuel anointed David to be king. So when it rolled over to the 17th chapter and David faced Goliath, David was already secure in his faith because God had already told him in the 16th chapter that you're going to be king, right? His faith was in God and God promised. So when he saw Goliath, because he had a reference point that God had already told him he was not going to die, he had to be king. Goliath couldn't take him out because God had already foretold him or forewarned him or let him know in predestination, destined, your destiny. He let you know your destiny beforehand, that Goliath, regardless of him being almost 10 feet tall, right? Intimidating. That was not going to stop David, derail David, or discourage David, because God had already concluded, David, you're going to be king. See, it's not the coronavirus that should intimidate us. What really we should be focusing on is, what did God say to us? If you have a promise, then coronavirus cannot kill you. If God has said something to you that he's going to do this, this, and that, and it hasn't happened, then you got to still be in the land of living. That's the reason why it's important for us to know what God is saying and to seek God so we can know what he's doing. Okay? David saw Goliath as an opportunity and not an obstacle. In fact, David knew that this obstacle could not derail his destiny, but it was going to be a platform to build it. God said, Sean, tell them to start looking for the opportunity in the obstacle, economic opportunity. Did you not know that there were more millionaires born in the time of the Great Depression when it was multiple obstacles? Who am I talking to that you got a guide idea? God gonna give you an idea about perhaps a cure of this coronavirus. Who am I talking to that your witty inventions, your creativity, who am I talking to? A creator, an inventor, that you're going to invent something to change the world in the midst of an obstacle. Look for the opportunity. I'm not suggesting do not prepare yourself, do not be careful, do not obey the law. I want you to do all that. But don't allow the coronavirus to cripple you to the degree you stop dreaming. Because when it's gone and dead, you're still going to be alive. So you need to understand that this is a moment that we need to exercise caution. We need to exercise wisdom, right? We need to review our normal because there is a new normal. But in this new normal, is this a platform for our next level? Or do we see this as a crippling dimension or something that comes to cripple us so that we can't progress? Okay, I want you to have faith in God. New Creation Family Church, my friends and family, you that has followed me over the years, I want you to know this is a great moment. Okay? Well, I'm going to share with you through the week, here and there, 5-6 minutes, going to hit you with the word to keep you encouraged, okay? I love you, New Creation Family Church. It's time to win the loss and do the Great Commission. I want you to know we did well today. Pastor Ross preached a life-changing message. Amen. He prayed for the sick. We were able to receive offerings. People got online that never got online before. I believe people were saved, healed, set free, and delivered. All right? So I want you to be encouraged. I'll see you in a couple of days.